Alright, hello everyone. This is Ryu Goomba. You can also call me Richard, and today we're going through Samurai Jack, Battle Through Time, Master Samurai difficulty, the fifth stage, known as Aku City. And I actually have a lot of history with this stage because during my first playthrough, which was on Master Samurai, I got stuck on this level. This was the only level that I actually had to restart because the boss was just so difficult and I had half life and no healing items, and the boss of the level was just way too difficult for me to handle. So this level does hold a special place in my heart. It's also a fairly fun level. We're going to get one new enemy type that's going to be coming up relatively soon. And they're quite challenging, but we'll get to them when we do. Right here is just the first little skirmish. It's just going to be beetle drones and the flying tick drones. Nothing crazy here. Blue beetle drones, there's like, what, 2 or 3 of them? 4, maybe. I think there's only 2. So right here I equip the bow just to shoot down the tick drones, just so they don't become a nuisance later on. There's quite a number of them. Right here, because they are beetle drones, you can... oh, I don't go for it? Well, there is a section where I do go for the Reapers later on, but not in this section. Coming up will soon be spider drones and flying tick drones. Just take him out with a projectile weapon, best case. Generally, explosives are your best choice. I don't use the explosives right here. I just use regular arrows just to save up on explosives because they're quite rare. Look at the game is conscious enough to give you Kaiken. Right here, I try and be careful and try and snipe them from above, but they just hit me. Luckily, at this point in the game, they shouldn't be too much trouble because you have a lot more mobility options and just general better damage overall. And if you notice in the corner on the right where I'm facing, it'll be your first corrupted Kalman of the level. And don't worry about your bow breaking, especially if you have another one at this point. You could use the bow right here to get that. I don't think you actually need the bow, but, just in case if you don't have anything long enough to reach. It's been a while since I've done one of these. I'm sorry if I'm stuttering a bit. Alright, so I know right here this is where I get Instant Guard. Instant Guard is a somewhat advanced technique. I personally don't think it's too hard. Advanced Guard, Instant Guard is a ability that Jack has that allows him to cancel the recovery frames into guard as long as he's hitting something. There will be later abilities in the game that allow you to do this not only on hit but also on block. You cannot do that on life. If you are committed to your move, so you have to be careful where you throw out your buttons. But on hit and block, it makes you instantly recover. And that's me messing up the parry timing right there, or the counter, excuse me. Right here are more beetle drones and large tick drones, which will try and chase you around and hit you and throw projectiles at you. Luckily, you could just throw a projectile at them and they die instantly. Not to worry, there will be a health pickup coming up soon. And more on Instant Guard. Instant Guard is very important because it allows you to cancel the recovery of your moves very instantly, and you could cancel it just about into anything, whether it's a block, dodge, you could switch into on-the-fly weapon switching, projectiles, you could switch into a lot of things. I do showcase it, I think, in this fight. Right there. Yeah, you see that little flash right there, and you'll get a shing sound. That means you did it successfully. There are abilities that will allow you to do them not only with more lenient timing, but also, again, on hit and block. As of right now, you can only do it once a move hits. Not if they're blocking the attack. That's important to know. And I think you'll see me do it right here. I believe I will do a Instant Guard into a throw. I believe. Just to show it off. See, right there, as he's blocking, you can't do that, but you can do it on hit. I don't show it off, unfortunately. The move gets a lot better once you unlock the other abilities for it. The other upgrades to it, rather. And right here, those are the Imakandi, if you saw. Those will be the new enemy types coming up, and they are absolutely dreadful to fight. They are one of the toughest enemies in the game because all their moves guard break. They have very huge single-hitting strikes, and they have a grab that is very long-reaching and does some of the most damage in the game. One thing that's cool about them is that they don't actually kill you, they just capture you, much like they try to do in the show. And I believe that was a Season 3 episode? It's been a while since I've watched it, but the Imakandi, while they're really cool, they're really tough to fight. Luckily, they only appear in this level, so you won't have to fight them later on this difficulty or on the next available difficulty, which I think is nice overall. Alright, so right here is just some tick drones that just explode. I messed up the counter timing again, which sucks. It's not great. Right here, just break some barrels just in case. Some of them should have health. The next Kamon is coming up. You'll need the bow and arrow for this. And the next fight coming up is going to be a large wave of single-hit alligators with clubs. And then it's going to be a combination of alligators with flangled maces and blue beetle drones. And then it's going to be the... one thing I like to do is just grab one of them immediately, and then just use the club, just bash them in. One of the reasons why I do this is because it will net you some Bushido Spirit, because the club breaks very early. It could break in this fight. That's how brittle it is as a weapon. Which is good, because there will be more powerful weapons that you'll get later on in the game. Like right there, club broke, so I just grab another one, because they just die instantly from throws. One thing to note is that if you are using a weapon and it does have like a kick move, the kick move will not register as that weapon type. Like say you're using a club or you're using the sword, it won't count towards the durability, so keep that in mind. As far as I'm aware. Right here, I'm just trying to grab the beetle drones for their Reaper because it's an absolutely vital projectile. Really powerful. I switched to broadsword because I noticed it's about to break. Unfortunately, I don't grab that beetle drone. I switched to the hands. I don't OTG him, so that's why I wasn't able to grab him there. Right here, I'm just fighting alligators. They actually do a lot of damage, so be careful. Well, they're not flangled maces. They're just spiked clubs. Not bad. Right here, I think I'm just seeing what I can unlock. And I don't think I unlock it, I just see what I can unlock. And right here are the Imakandi. The Imakandi are an absolute pain in the ass. They're weak to projectile weapons, but I don't, not projectile, to fist weapons, but I barely fuck with it. As you can see, I just switched to projectile weapons soon after. And that's one of the reasons why I like using the Reaper, because the Reaper does stun them very well. And it does explode, so it does extra damage. And then right here, I'm just kind of going to be a cheeky bastard and throw a Kaiken at him. Because luckily it does stun them very well. Yeah, but these guys are incredibly difficult. You do not want to mess with them on your first playthrough. Countering them can actually be quite tricky because of the way they strike. It's very delayed palm strikes. So it can be very tricky. You can't regularly counter them. You have to use the counter stance in order to, get the slowdown time and be able to attack them efficiently. Right here, it looks like I'm just jumping off for no reason, but I didn't explain before, but there are tick drones that are just flying in the level that net you rewards, and they're always going to be chests. They're usually going to have like some skill fire or like some type of Bushido spirit or whatever. Unfortunately, one of them I think is glitched, and it will appear in your first playthrough, but it doesn't appear on subsequent playthroughs if you already get it, which is very strange. Even on new file, this is a new file. I do promise you it will be there, and there's an in-game achievement for it. So you should be able to get it, hopefully, because it did appear for me when I did first play. It just hasn't appeared in any subsequent playthrough. Alright, so right there is a very important bracelet, the luck bracelet. It allows you to get increased amount of money, which is huge. At this point in the game, you should probably be using that instead of the skill fire bracelet. Because gold, especially now, will be more important than ever, especially when it comes to leveling up your weapons. I didn't level up too many weapons this time around, but later on through the playthrough, I will be leveling them up. I didn't upgrade the fists, which I probably should have, because they do net you one of the most powerful moves in the game, especially after a counter, which is a 360 heavy and light attack, which is a Tatsu into a Dragon Punch, and they're super damaging and super strong and kind of break the game in a way. I haven't gotten it yet, but hopefully in the next video we have, because I haven't played this game since this video, actually. I've been quite busy with other games. Just showing off right there, you get a little bit more gold from that. And right here, just check around the corner on the left, there should be the next corrupted Kamon. Alright, once you jump down here, you can't go back to the previous area, so please be mindful of that. Even though it looks like you can make it by doing a jump good, you cannot. I've tried. Alright, right here is just a bunch of bounty hunters. Nothing too special. If you want, you can grab the guns, choose. A little cool animation. Luckily, they're weak to the fists, so it's just a regular little skirmish right here. They'll come up in the next fight as well. However, the elevation and platforms will be a nuisance in the way, as well as tick drones. So that fight will be a little bit harder. There, I'm just making use of instant guard to, cover fast from the double palm strike move. If I wanted to, I could probably go to GM with the counter stance into throw, but I didn't. Probably because I didn't want to kill him. Without at least get him to a threshold where like the next hit will kill him on accident. Right here is just kind of a little bonus skirmish. Right there. Just to net you a little bit more reward. Right there, I just paused to see how much golden skill fire I have. And right here should be coming up is a Warhammer. I believe it is about as good as the axe. I'm not too sure. It might be the axe or the drone scythe. I'm not too sure. But it is a good weapon overall. It's fairly durable, and it nets you quite a bit of Bushido Spirit. Right here is the fight I was talking about. A lot of drones, a lot of bounty hunters, a lot of them with projectiles just shooting at you. It can be very annoying. And as you shoot down the tick drones, more bounty hunters will drop down. So I would say take out the tick drones, because they are not very durable at all. And then I'd say take out the Rocketeers, because they're much more dangerous than the regular bounty hunters just with rifles. Though they can take out a rocket launcher on occasion. Excuse me, I'm fumbling over my words. I haven't done this in a while. And then right here, taking on the hunters, getting my ass kicked a little bit. Not the most flattering gameplay. I actually had quite a bit of trouble here. I had to use my Kai attack. Although I'm not ashamed to admit it, it is sloppy. A lot of these fights go very sloppy in this video, which I do apologize for. I'm not going to be ashamed of it, though. Right here should be the other tick drones that are flying up. This area should net you a chest, and I believe it has Bushido Spirit, but for whatever reason, I think the game glitches, and it just doesn't give it to you if you've already gotten it, which is very strange. It should appear, though. I haven't had any sort of, issue prior to, getting it. Alright, go right here. I believe there's a revolver in here. Yep. I'm just breaking down the barrels just to see what kind of stuff is in them, see if I can get some health. Luckily, there will be a health pickup coming along. And you'll just have a couple of more encounters with tick drones. I think I go back to one of the daughters of the Scotsman. She gives you piercing arrows. Yep, piercing arrows. Surprised how much I remember in this game. And right here, I'm just kind of just questioning where the hell is that chest, because I have no idea where it is. But it should be there. Trust me, guys. It should be there on your first initial playthrough. Right there. Luckily, I got the Kakai back, which is very important. Just pausing right there to see how much skill, fire, and money I have. I think it said I had 1,400 skill, fire, which is quite good. And one thing you don't want to forget is the come on, which is right there. Just don't forget it. It's hidden in that little corner over there. And this is one of the more difficult fights. One of the first more difficult fights. Well, actually, a lot of the fights here are difficult. But right here are 3 Shinobis, and they're a pain in the ass. Right here, I just use one of my Kakais, just so that I can do a bunch of damage to them. One thing to note about them is that the only weakness, as far as I remember, they have are explosives, such as Reapers and the explosive arrows. So be mindful of that. And you don't get any weapon from them if you kill them with a grab move, which is weird. You'd think they would have a katana or something, because that is what you get in the game. But you don't get any weapon from them, which is strange. You do get explosive arrows from them, though. Sometimes they'll have random drops that do that. And even if you took a lot of damage, it's not to worry. There should be another health pickup, Wellspring, coming up. Here I'm just trying to get the skill, fire. And right here we're going to get a nice view of Aku City once I go up the bridge. And then you'll hear Aku speaking, and you'll hear a little bit of the theme song, which is a nice little touch. Slide down there, pick up the health right over there. And this is one of the fights where you're going to fight a bunch of beetle drones. Now what I try and do is just try and whittle them down enough to grab them so I can get Reapers, which is super important. A bunch of spider drones, but you should be able to take care of them at this point, especially with running guard. You can grab them as well. You can throw projectiles. You have a lot of options against them. Right here, I'm just trying to make sure I don't do too much damage to kill them like I did the first one. Nothing to really say much on this part. Right there, I'm using instant guard right there. You can see instant guard into throat makes it a lot faster. Killed one again accidentally there. And right after this fight will be Celtic Demons. It'll be Rocket Dudes, the Hunters. There'll be the Spider Drones, and there's going to be a giant Beetle Drone. We'll be mindful of those enemy varieties, because they can actually be quite a pain in the ass. Particularly spiders and Celtic Demons. Just a huge pain in the ass. Projectiles everywhere. The Celtic Demons are super aggressive. The Spider Drones are just scared little bastards. I would recommend using the Scythe here, the running guard light attack. Quite strong, knocks down. Even if you don't get the running guard on it, you'll carry invul for most of the move up until recovery. Get the Kakai attack, destroy everything. It does a lot of damage. It's nearly everything. Right there, he's getting Aku triggered. Look at the damage because I missed my parry. It's just so much. And much like the first boss, just spam running guard light against him. Just be careful and try not to die. There you go. Dead. I get a little bit of health. And time to do a little bit of exploring. There's some gold. And there'll be a little diversion. Don't go up the stairs. Just do some exploring right here. And go past the stairs as well. Because there'll be a nice little section that I really like aesthetically. It's a very nice transition. I think it's one of the probably the prettiest transitions in the game, if not the prettiest. It's my personal favorite. See right there's Spring Well as well, so you'll get health back. Right there's a ladder, so you go down, get the chest. I forget what's in here. Crystal Caloristro. There you go. I might have butchered that pronunciation, but right there's a corrupted common. Go up the ladder, and then just keep going left, and you'll see probably my favorite transition in the game when it comes to the aesthetics. Just look at that. Going from the harsh oranges to like the nice pristine light blues. It's just really nice, and it just goes to show how pretty this game is. Samurai Jack has already had great art from the show, and the devs transferred it very well to the game. From the environments to the character models, animations, and everything. It's really nice. The skill I just got was increase Kikai, or skill fire, I believe. I forget what exactly it said. It was either increase Kikai or increase skill fire drops. Here, just head towards this little alleyway, get some gold, and head up the stairs, and take another detour in the same direction, and you'll meet one of the Scotsman's daughters. Forget what she gives you. Another crystal, which is really good. Alright, so there's one thing you do not want to miss here, and it's to go into this train right here. And you will meet the samurai. This is the last point you'll meet him in the level. When I first played through this game, I did not notice that, and I got immensely fucked while playing this game. All I do right there is just repair the bow. I probably could have done maybe a little bit more, maybe sell some stuff, but I didn't have too much money on me. Right here is just a cutscene, nothing to worry about. It's just Imakandi hunting you. Right here, I think she gives you a haggis. Nope. I have too much, so I can't carry it. If you need a health item, you could just use one up and then take back from her. Right there will be some beetle drones up in the sky. You'll get a chest. Right there you should have Bushido Spirit. Yep, 200. Not bad. Just seeing how much Bushido Spirit I have and see what I could buy. I believe I buy Second Wind, which is a useless ability on Master Samurai because it only works on Samurai and lower. There is an ability I am trying to get, and it is Perfect Dodge, which we will have enough for soon enough, which is not right now. I'm just trying to see what skills exactly I should be getting, because there should be a certain way you do go about getting skills if you want to get through the game as quickly as you can. I don't think I did it quite in the proper way, and I do apologize for that. I'm just so used to playing the game in a very specific way, and this is the first time I've done something like this, so I do apologize for that. Right here is definitely one of the more difficult fights, because you're fighting two Imakandis and you're going to be fighting a shinobi, and if you kill either one of the shinobi or one of the Imakandi, another shinobi will appear, so be very mindful of that. This is a very difficult fight. Right here, I think I'm just switching to explosives. Explosives are very good. They do a lot of damage. They have splash damage overall. And look at him slide like that. It's a little silly. And right there is the second shinobi. Explosives do a lot of damage to them. And as you can see, because of the splash damage, it hit the other Imakandi. So all I need to do is just handle the next two shinobi. And luckily the Reaper does a ton of damage to them. It is their weakness, so keep that in mind. I don't know exactly what I'm doing here, but maybe I'm just going back to the shop. I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing. right up here should be a health pickup, so don't miss that. It is actually pretty easy to miss. This game, this level in particular, has a couple of Wellsprings that are easy to miss, which I'm not a huge fan of. But right here is a big fight with a bunch of bounty hunters and gator robots. What I just do here is just spam running guard with the scythe, or the hammer weapon, excuse me. I just call it the scythe because look at it, it's a giant scythe. And it's very satisfying to just like chop things in half with it. It's so cool. It's one of my favorite weapons. Just because of the way it chops it. And there's not really much to say on this. Just try and keep doing this as best as you can. Try and master the running guard instant guard with this move as well, because you can cancel the first hit and just instantly go into another running guard light with the hammer, and it will give you still the invul, and you'll be able to carry that the second part of it and still get a knockdown. Most people cancel the second hit, which allows for a knockdown. It allows you to cancel the recovery, so you can just do it again instantly. It's a very powerful move, like right there, as you saw. Like, look how fast I recovered. That's how powerful instant. And unfortunately, if you think the fight is done, it's not, because there's Imakandi, and there's 4 of them this time. And I don't want to die again, so I just switched to the Great Ancient Mace. And I just use my Kakai to kill them. And luckily, using your Kakai attack also nets you reward on Kakai, which is a little ridiculous, but I don't mind because this game can be a pain in the ass. Right here, I'm just kind of spamming running guard. I wouldn't generally recommend it against the Imakandi because they have a lot of armor on stuff. But in this instance, because they have such low life and there's not that many of them, I'd say use it at this point. It's honestly better just to use projectiles against them than using something like the running guard light with the hammer weapon, just because they have so much recovery, and if you don't get the timing down for the instant guard, you can be punished very heavily. So using projectiles, I think, is a bit safer, and you'll definitely be using it in this upcoming part because it's kind of bullshit. It's kind of not well done. And I'm not a huge fan of it, personally. I see what they were trying to do, but it's not a very fun section. And for whatever reason, I'm trying to get that Corrupted Calm on by a melee weapon, but you can't. You have to use the bow and arrow. So just use the arrow to save yourself some headache. Right here, I believe, should be some gold. 2,500. Break all the barrels, because one of them should have some white Dama in it, because the next section will be 4 Imakandis again, but in a 2D section. And that doesn't sound terrible, but it really is, because they hit hard, they have a lot of armor, and it's on a 2D plane, and you're just like sandwiched between 2 on each side, which is really not fun. It's one of my least favorite parts of the game, if I had to be completely honest. But luckily it isn't the worst thing in the world. I just wish it was slightly better. So right here, I just jump over 2 on the left. I use my Kakai with the mace, and it doesn't kill one of them, surprisingly, even though it killed one of them, or 2 of them last time. And right there, that is a very dangerous grab. It will kill you very fast. It does a lot of damage, and that grab has armor. So be mindful of that. That's something you haven't seen, and at the very least now you've seen it. And right here, I just kind of spam projectiles. Because even in this part, it can be difficult. Because they are just so close in on you. There's just such little room to breathe. And right here is such enthralling gameplay as I'm just throwing projectiles. Once you do get one of them stunned, it's hard for them to kind of get out. As long as you keep the rhythm up and you're close enough. Yeah, what an engaging part, right? This doesn't make the game look very good, but trust me, the game is incredibly good. It's just this one part is very unfortunate how it was designed. Especially because these enemies just guard break you and you can't counter them. They're very hard to dodge. But go back to the left, not inside the elevator, but behind the elevator will be the last corrupt Kamon of the level. And one thing to note is that in this section there is a Wellspring. It is very easy to miss. It should be on the next upcoming section right here. I paused right here so you could see the Wellspring. It is very easy to miss because as soon as you get on that platform, the cutscene starts and you can't go back. And right here is the next section. All of a sudden we're on a train. If you watch the cutscene, you'll know that it is Josephine in Ezekiel Clench that captured you and put you on this train. And they will be the boss of this stage. And these two bosses are very difficult, especially on your first playthrough, because you fight them multiple times on the train, and at the end you fight both of them at the same time. And it's actually very challenging. It's very difficult to the point where it'd be kind of bullshit, but it's not horrible, especially if you know what to do, per se. It is still a very difficult fight. Ezekiel has a number of unblockable attacks. Josephine has a lot of multi-hitting moves and is very agile. We will get to them eventually, but as of right now, we're just fighting off small little skirmishes. Those tick drones and beetle drones. Luckily, the beetle drones go out in one hit, so you can just throw them, get reapers. And luckily, the tick drones don't really do much here. They just kind of sit there like dummies. They will occasionally fire at you, but because you have invincibility to throw, it shouldn't be too much to handle. Right there is another spring well, so not to worry if you took too much damage. Right here, just a bunch of blue beetle drones. Again, just try and will them down enough to where you will get the Reaper from them. Right there, I did OTG in the throw. Again, I did the same just so I could get the Reaper. Not too much to commentate on right here. I believe the next fight right here will be bounty hunters and tick drones. Alligators, excuse me. I was incorrect. But yeah, just kind of pile them up in the corner. I just like to use the scythe like this. You could do running guard. I do XXY with the scythe because I like that move. It's nice. Don't worry about your Kama drone scythe breaking because you do have another one, and they net you a lot of Bushido Spirit. Believe it or not, I believe net you like 2,000, which is quite ridiculous. And the next ability that I'll be getting is Perfect Dodge, which only costs 1,000 Bushido Spirit. And right here will be the first encounter of one of the bosses, Ezekiel. You'll always start out with that running punch. On this difficulty, it is unblockable. So either you will have to dodge it, or you will have to do a counter on it. You can counter unblockables in this game, not parry, which is just pressing guard, but doing a counter, which is blocking, pressing Y, and he'll do the little swipe animation, like right there. A lot of his moves guard break, which can be not great, and I believe right here is where I get the perfect dodge. I'm trying to remember where it is. I think it's in the physical skill tree. I always forget. No, I don't get it? I'm surprised. Right here, Ezekiel has a lot of moves that guard break. He has a lot of moves that are unblockable. And this is just the first set of moves he has. As you go on, you will fight him more times and you'll get new moves as you go down the train. And one thing to note is that if they are staggered, both him and Josephine, you can grab them just so you can kick them off the train and just instantly end the fight. Alright, and be careful right here, because if you do die on any of these upcoming sections, these upcoming 3 sections, you'll have to restart them from this point on. Which I did find out the hard way when I was editing this, because I accidentally left it in and I had to edit it out. I thought I scrubbed the whole timeline with all my deaths, but oh well. And right here, I think I'm looking for the perfect dodge again, because if you die, any skills you unlock, you have to unlock again. I don't think I have enough to buy it, which is something. Well, right here is Josephine. She's more agile than Ezekiel. She has a lot of multi-hitting moves, like that move right there. She has a number of piercing moves with her parasol. She can jump with it and do a dive type move. She shoots a lot of her guns. She's just overall very mobile, very fast. So you do want to be mindful of that. Be careful of the twirl move, because if you do block it, it will guard break, and sometimes it can hit you multiple times and drain your life bar. Much like Ezekiel, once she is down on the ground, you can grab her and instantly end the fight. Right here, Ezekiel gets a couple of new moves. He'll shoot his guns, he'll shoot electricity at you. You'll have that move right there, which is a very questionable hitbox. To counter it, you want to do it just before he actually, like, kind of above your head. Really weird. It's a very questionable hitbox, but it's not too bad once you get used to it. But I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, it's a great hitbox, because no, that hitbox is very awkward. As you can see right there, I get the perfect dodge. Which I thought I unlocked prior, but I did unlock it prior. When I died in that one section of footage I had. Yeah, right here will be the checkpoint, and this will be the 3rd time you fight Ezekiel. And this time he'll have a combination of his melee attacks and his projectile attacks. So be mindful on top of this very strange platform. And as you can see right there, the timing is very weird. You won't get hit by the surge of electricity coming from the ground, surprisingly, if you do parry it like that. I'm not going to question that. This game is a little rough around the edges, but that's okay. That's what makes it fun sometimes. Sometimes an unpolished game can be fun, as long as it isn't to the point. This is my personal take right there. He's staggered, throw him off, and this is probably one of the hardest fights in the game, at least for me personally. When I first played through the game, these two kicked my ass to Kingdom Come. I could not beat them. I had to restart the level and grind a little bit. It was shameful. Now, one thing to note is that you don't want them to corner you. You generally don't want them on both sides. You want to keep them on one side. You don't want them cornering you or sandwiching you in between. Generally, what I like to do is focus on Ezekiel, because he is slower. Josephine is a bit more passive in this section. And generally, Ezekiel will be throwing out a lot more unblockable projectiles in general in comparison to Josephine, who just throws like just gunshots, which don't do as much damage as Ezekiel. Once one of them is stunned, you can throw them off the stage, and you can just focus on one of them. Josephine retains all of her moves from the previous fight. Ezekiel retains all of his moves from the 3rd fight. Thing to mind. Right there, this is one of the reasons why you want to focus on Ezekiel more often, because he'll just have unblockable attacks that go off screen. They do have an audio cue, so it's not too bad, but it's still very challenging. Josephine luckily doesn't have any unblockables that go full screen like Ezekiel's. And once you kill one of them will get Aku triggered. And try and make sure that you keep them at low life as well, just so you don't have to deal with it as much, because they'll do a lot more damage and just generally be a bit more defensive. Oh yeah, I forgot about that move, that unblockable pierce move into a multi-hit move. Forgot about that move for Josephine. One thing to note about Josephine is that once she is staggered, you can actually grab her and get her weapon. Unfortunately, in this video, I don't get it. I do apologize for that. But her Parasol is very powerful. It is the most powerful spear type weapon, and it nets you a lot of Bushido Spirit if it does break. I don't know how much. I want to say 5,000, and I do apologize for not getting in this video. Look how many deaths I had right there. 20 deaths. It goes to show how much of a pain in the ass this level is, and it's something not to take lightly. All right, and I do apologize again for a lot of the delays between videos. I've been very distracted by not only school, but also other games. But yeah, that's about it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you found it helpful, and I hope you take care and have a good day.